There are some massive changes incoming with the Cavaliers lineup as they head into Game 2 of the Eastern Conference semifinals after multiple injury reports that could leave some star players out, and a Game 1 loss is leading to these necessary lineup changes. Who is losing minutes? Who is gaining minutes? How will these players perform with more minutes? How will some of these players perform with less minutes? That's what we're talking about here today at Cavs Digest. And before we get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as me and Billy cover everything, all things Cavs, from updates to rumors to lineup changes to injuries to trades to free agency signings. We cover everything here at Cavs Digest, and we always push that out for you guys. So go check out Billy's video about the injuries as well, because I'm going to go into that a little bit here today as well. But go check his out first, then come back to me or check his out after, whatever. But anyways, let's talk about the first thing. 3 guys that I could potentially be seeing losing minutes and how. So the first thing is Max Strus. I will have the box score showing for you guys at the bottom. You'll see it below me, but I'll also pull up a picture so you guys can get a better visual of it. Max Strus really struggled to create shots on the offensive side. Obviously on the offensive side, but anyways, he struggled to create shots in Game 1, and creating shots was the biggest problem with the Cavaliers. They simply could not score from the perimeter. When Donovan Mitchell attacked, he scored almost every time when he attacked, but the three-point shooting was just not there at all for the Cavaliers. They could not make any three-pointers. I'll show up the team stats as well. You'll see what they shot, but it was very poor. Max Strus was not playing better than Ty Jerome, was not playing better than DeAndre Hunter. Now, yes, he had the best plus-minus in the starting lineup, but I feel like when we have the Coach of the Year winner, who's now the Coach of the Year winner, Kenny Atkinson, I feel like we need to, I trust him as a coach. I feel like he needs to be able to see that a player is struggling and what another player is doing better that will allow them to take in that lineup. And I'll show you the minutes here in a second. But so Strus definitely did not struggle in Game 1. Now, again, DeAndre Hunter may not be playing, so Hunter will probably take more minutes than Max Strus and could be potentially filling a starter role if he plays, but there is a chance that he does not. So the next thing is Dean Wade. Now, assuming everyone's healthy again, there's injury. If everyone is healthy, this man should probably lose a couple minutes. Merrill and Strus are more likely to lose minutes than Dean Wade, because Dean Wade plays just under 20 or just on 20 or a little bit above, and his effectiveness offensively is non-existent at the moment. But if Evan Mobley does not play, Dean Wade could be the starting power forward for the Cavaliers. So all the negativity that I'm saying about his offensive threat could be having to throw him in the starting lineup. So I could just be hopefully eating my words watching him start. So again, there's so many things. It's so much crazy stuff going on. There's so many injuries. There's players who I'm going to say need to play less that are about to start potentially. There's going to be another player I mentioned earlier, and then Sam Merrill on the other hand, he is really only getting he's really only starting. He's always only starting because of Darius Garland being out, but most of his minutes are coming from the fact that Darius Garland's out. So if Darius Garland does play, you're going to see Merrill play less, and that's the sad truth. Again, Merrill's a very one-dimensional player. I've talked about him before. This is a guy that needs to step up and make himself less one-dimensional, be able to create his own shot, because he's a design play shooter, or you just pass it to him and he just shoots it right away. He has the green light to do whatever he wants from the perimeter. He plays hard on defense, but he's not a great defender, and that's another sad truth that we've witnessed. So let's kind of break down the box score, why I've talked about these guys in certain senses. So Max Strus, again, 2 for 9, 2 for 8 from 3. Donovan Mitchell, still 1 for 11 from 3 there. He couldn't make a shot either. Making shots was the recipe for success for the Cavaliers team, and it was also the recipe for disaster for this Cavaliers team, because when you make a lot of threes, you shoot a lot of threes, you live by the 3, you die by the 3, and that's the rule. And think about, we saw another game, the team that's number 1 in three-pointers missed 45 threes and lost the game. That's the Celtics. The Cavaliers, they did the same thing. They missed so many threes, they lost because of it. And that's simply what happens. So anyways, back to the action here. We see Merrill, we talked about him, 2 for 5. He doesn't really do anything else. I mean, he crashes the board, he passed a little bit. I was actually more impressed by how less one-dimensional he was in Game 1 against the Pacers than he has been most of his career. But I still don't think he brings more value than just giving Ty Jerome the start, than giving DeAndre Hunter the start, than than having Darius Garland in the lineup. So, and then again, the team stats, just for Game 1, the Cavaliers 9 for 38 from 3. That's disappointing. How can that be fixed? That's what I'm going to continue talking about here. And this team forced, look how many turnovers the Cavaliers forced. At the bottom, they forced 17 turnovers and lost. They forced 17 turnovers and lost. Anyways, so a couple players that we have to highlight today. One, so we talked about Max Strus, and again, this is a guy that I do love watching play. Like, I think he's good, and he can shoot the ball great. He just had a bad game one, but I feel like you need to see when a guy is struggling. Yes, you want Max Strus to play 30 minutes because he's been that good, but when you see a guy struggling, you should be willing to play him less. Same with Donovan Mitchell. He was struggling to shoot. Maybe you should have said, hey, stop shooting, try to just drive, and then have everyone space the floor. Unfortunately, that did happen a couple possessions, or a good amount of possessions that people just missed. But you should have had the guys that are making shots and more, like DeAndre Hunter, who also might not be playing in Game 2 when this guy has proven himself to be a phenomenal defender, as good as a defender as Dean Wade, and as good as a shooter as Max Strus. This guy could shoot. Look at the box score real quick again. You're going to see he was 1 for 2. He had a good game. 1 for 2 from 3. 2 for 2 free throw line. 11 points, +7, ±. Ty Jerome +10, ±. So why on earth is DeAndre Hunter not just stepping in for Max Strus and playing? Or you can put him in the same lineup or try something new. You need to really see what's working, and that's how you have. Now, of course, I'm not going to tell Kenny Atkinson to coach. This is what I think from watching the games and based on statistics that I just showed you guys. DeAndre Hunter needs to be in the game more. Yes, 30 minutes. He should be playing upwards of 36 minutes because he has a +7, +-, and +- isn't the only way to judge players, of course. But Ty Jerome, DeAndre Hunter, when they were on the court, and when they were on the court together, is when the Cavs team was basically at their best. So why were they not playing upwards of 30 minutes? Instead, they were giving extra minutes to Dean Wade, which they didn't have to do because he was just playing defense. They were giving almost about 15 minutes to Isaac Okoro, who we could be seeing starting in Game 2. And I'm going to give my opinion on Isaac Okoro. His inability to create shots is a little disappointing because this is a guy that you just throw in to do something specific. Yes, he plays defense and he's athletic and he can sometimes make a jumper. But he's not that shot creator that the Cavaliers need, and the Cavaliers need shot creating. So what do you guys think about Isaac Okoro starting if Mobley is out, if DeAndre Hunter is out, if let's say all three guys, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and DeAndre Hunter are all not playing and Isaac Okoro starts, how do you guys feel about that? Personally, I'd be a little upset, but also, I mean, you kind of don't have any options. That means you might have to give the playing time to Jalen Tyson, Amani Bates, whatever you have to do. Javonte Green. I would actually love to see Javonte Green because when the Cavaliers got him, he was an elite defender, and that's why they got him to come into the team. So go ahead and try him out. He looked good against the Heat, so maybe give Javonte Green some time. Maybe not start, obviously. Isaac Okoro has started for the Cavaliers, so in the past. So, of course, he has that experience, and merit matters. And so go ahead and let Isaac Okoro start. But that would be really, really crazy to see how he plays in that position compared to how he's played in the past. But anyways, other players that we must talk about. Darius Garland's injury has obviously played a big factor into these lineup changes, specifically with Sam Merrill, who as a Cavs fan who loves watching people play their best, in no way, shape, or form should Sam Merrill be starting over DeAndre Hunter. DeAndre Hunter has proven himself to be a 3-level scorer. Could score in the low post, can score on the perimeter, could score in the paint. He played great. And in my opinion, what the Cavs should have done is probably just push Mitchell up to the 1 and then put Strus at the 2, Hunter at the 3, Mobley at the 4, Allen at the 5. I feel like that lineup just sounds better, just looks better. But obviously because Merrill won games 3 and 4 against the Miami Heat by like dominating fashion, then it looked good for him. But we need Darius Garland to play because without him in the lineup, we miss a lot of shot creating and ability to make 3-pointers, which we so desperately need because I feel like that's definitely the reason why Sam Merrill got the start over a lot of players, because he could shoot and they wanted to try to not lose out on Darius Garland's 3-point shooting, but unfortunately they still did. And so we desperately need this guy back in the lineup. Other than that, that's basically what I have for you guys today. These lineup changes that are coming. There's a couple rumored lineups. I mentioned one: Wade, Okoro, Strus, Mitchell, and Allen. If Mobley plays, which is basically out of all the injuries, that's the guy that, I mean, you want all three to play, but that's the one thing that ruins the lineup a lot because we talked about how Koby Altman didn't pick up a backup big at the trade deadline, and it's looking a little scary because if an injury happens, what do you do? Dean Wade starting at power forward, Isaac Okoro starting at small forward. Now, let's say Garland doesn't play, but Mobley does. It's probably just going to be the same lineup again, but I would prefer to see Ty Jerome, who, let's pull up the box score real quick, had a +10 ±, and yes, he didn't shoot great from 3, 1 for 4. He still played good, and he was able to create a shot better than a lot of the team was. So I would love to see Ty Jerome get that starting point guard, and then I would love to see Strus, honestly, be benched for DeAndre Hunter. If DeAndre Hunter doesn't play, well, you're just going to run with the same lineup. And there's a lot of adjustments that have to happen. I mean, this is getting crazy for the Cavs. What kind of changes are they going to make? This is major news to me that they're making all these lineup changes. That what's going to happen with these three guys? If these three guys don't play, if two don't play, what's going to happen? What do you guys think? Drop a comment pre-game. I'm going to see who predicts it correctly. And as always, go Cavs, and we'll see you guys later. Thank you guys for joining me.